Half. It's live. Play it.
When I look into
All right.
the face of corruption, I know
AJ, welcome. AJ, I see you. AJ, I can't hear you though, man.
All right, give me a second.
All right.
Here.
There you go. You're live, man.
All right. Can you hear
Welcome.
me now?
I can hear you. That's the
All
that's the
right.
theme of 2020 is can you hear me now?
I can hear
Welcome, everyone. This is Kyle Apps, and my friend and partner in crime is AJ Kafang. Welcome to this Independence Day broadcast. We're streaming live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. This October 1st, 60 years of independence for Nigeria.
60
We're going to have a lot of
That's
people,
right.
60 years. So what do we have today, AJ? What's going on?
We're just wanting to just kind of celebrate the Independence Day, and we wanted to hear from different Nigerians just all around the world. Basically, just trying to hear about like what is happening and what they have been up to, and just their thoughts on the future of Nigeria and kind of what is happening. So let's just kind of give people some time to tune in. Just give them a couple of minutes, and then we can just start, and just see. I can see we have someone waiting for us, so we'll just wait for the people to get on.
Yeah, so today I think the format is we're just going to have friends, colleagues, people, as AJ said, around the world joining us, sharing their greetings, their hopes, their fears even of what's going on in Nigeria. So as they come in, it may be kind of sporadic, maybe somewhat chaotic, but we're going to have everyone that we can share some greetings, some hope for Nigeria. I'm set with my my malt. So my green screen doesn't really help that. I got
I have my coffee.
No. You need to go. And I got my Kuli Kuli
Oh man,
direct from Nigeria.
became-
So I'm gonna be crunching away. If you hear a little bit of crunching, I'm eating. So
yeah.
So 60 years from the time of independence. That's pretty crazy to think about, right?
Yeah, I would say that Nigeria has really come like a really long way, and I'm just really excited about what is out there for Nigeria within the future. Like, I'm just eager to hear from like different people about like what they think about like what that would look like and just what would be available. So I'm just glad that we're doing this and just where it'll go.
Well, I think let's go to Dr. Gloria Puldu. I think she's in, and then after that we can go to Shia, who's in the room as well. So let's start with, let's see, I don't see her video screen on, so should we add her?
Yeah, let's add her. So
See what happens.
Yeah, so technically I think people are going to be coming in and out because we have people from all parts of the world. So just kind of bear with us, but we'll work with everyone and get it all taken care of.
Great. Dr. Gloria, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, loud and clear. So I guess just tell us where you are right now and what your hope, your dream, what you do in Nigeria, and then your hope and dream for Nigeria as a nation as we celebrate 60 years. So share with us, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Kyle and AJ, for having me. And thank
Yes.
you so much, Icon, for this very wonderful work you're doing for Nigeria, most especially with the troubles that we are having. We are very, very grateful. We appreciate Icon. And Leah Foundation is very grateful, most specifically to you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate Anna and Priscilla for having us last week and for helping us with the prayers that we have had. Well, I'm Gloria Puldo Samdi, calling from Jos, Nigeria. And I'm so glad that today we are celebrating 60 years of our independence. Even though sincerely from the bottom of our hearts and most people, my heart and most people, we will have loved to have Nigeria developed more than it is,
Yeah.
and also not to be, in a situation where it is presently. But we still want to say thank you, Lord, for giving us the opportunity that today Nigeria celebrates 60 years. 60 years is a very special age, especially in Nigeria, because it is actually the retirement age for every civil servant in Nigeria. And so it is expected that when you're 60 years, you can retire. But if we are to describe Nigeria, we can see it's still a baby and still crawling, but we are trusting and looking up to God to help us. And my sincere heart desire for Nigeria is that the Lord will give us leaders that fear Him, that love Him, that sincerely have the interests of the country at heart. And then I also pray that whoever is in any position as a leader will be able to give a listening ear to the the demands or the requests or the cries of the people that he or she represents.
Yep.
That they are doing their best, as they always tell us, but we know that they can do more. And we have always had issues of leadership, and that is where we are where we are. So my sincere prayer is that God will give us leaders that truly, truly are righteous, that fear Him, and that are sincerely going to take their responsibility with a human face. And I just want to say, for those that are there now, I pray that they can give more listening ears to their citizens. For us in the northeastern part of the country, we know that for Leah Foundation, we have been pleading and pressuring and demanding international community, demanding local communities, demanding everybody to pressure for the release of Leah and the stoppage of all the carnage that Boko Haram, Fulani headsmen, and all kidnappings, banditry, and all the activities that are happening. We will continue to ask that the government take responsibility, take action, and fulfill promises that they have given to Nigerians. So this is my request, and this is my wish for Nigeria.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thanks, Dr. Gloria. We've been working together for many years. I think it's always exciting to hear from you and what's going on in Nigeria. We keep praying for you and the work with Leah. Hopefully, news. I mean, that's all we can pray for now is just some news coming out for what's happening with her. And so God bless you and stay strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you too. And God bless Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Wow, that's a way to start on a kind of somber note there, but it's true. I mean, Nigeria has hope and potential, but certain things kind of bring it back, bring it down to ground.
Yeah, like that. I feel that is what like really bothers me about a lot of things about like how much potential you can see and know that Nigeria has, but to just see how it's not given the chance to breathe, to invest in its people, to allow the people to try different ideas and different things. It's just, I don't know. It's just sad. But.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We got another guest on the line in the studio. Let's bring another friend, Shaya. Shaya, you are now live on our streaming show. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you're unmuted. Let's see. There you go. I
forgot.
can hear you. Welcome.
Ishaya, nice to
Thank you,
see
Kyle.
you.
Thank you. Angel, so good to see you. It's been
Yeah,
a while.
it's been
Yeah.
such a long time. Good to see you,
So
man.
glad to see you there, man. What was
So
that your song earlier on playing?
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
need
I
to
mean,
send a copy of that song to me.
yeah, I need to send it to you. It's a good song for Nigeria.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially today. It's a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Ishai, I've known you for years now as well. I mean, when we first met, you were doing translation work. You were a theologian. Well, you're still a theologian, but now you're directing Sports Friends in Nigeria. You work across West Africa. You've traveled internationally. As you've seen places outside of Nigeria, what hope or what things can you bring back for Nigeria? What would be your sort of plea or hope that Nigeria could do that you've seen around the
Well,
world?
yeah, so thank you, Kyle, for bringing me in here. Um, I was talking with some people yesterday. One was adamant that there is no hope for Nigeria.
Hmm.
And I said, truly, if you look at things empirically, based on what is on ground, the conclusion naturally will be that there is no hope for Nigeria. But I'm a man of faith. So, but when you appeal to faith, you know that for as long as you are alive, there is hope. So we don't lose hope until we stop breathing. Having said that, I want to talk about the problems, the promise, the problems, and the provisions to just communicate what is in my mind. At the wake of independence, even though I wasn't born that time, but I read in history, it looked promising because the founding fathers of Nigeria thought Nigeria would be better off if Nigeria is independent, and they advocated for that, and so independence was given. It looked promising because shortly before independence, oil was discovered, and it was booming at that time, and so we started from there. Things were looking promising. But down the line, in retrospect, apparently, our founding fathers never sat down to discuss the vision for Nigeria. Now, from history, what we have seen is that people were advocating for regional rights. People were coming with selfish sentiments, so that is their region is not Nigeria. We want for our region is not Nigeria. And that issue was unresolved. And today we are in a Nigeria that is filled with problems. So the promise I have left the problems. And I listened to one of the princes of United Arab Emirates say Nigeria discovered oil in 1956, and by 1958, exploration has begun. Nigeria was exporting crude oil. But Dubai began their exploration in 1962, years after Nigeria. But today, Dubai is a delight, is a place that everybody wants to go to. But Nigeria is where it is. And this prince of UAE said, the problem between Nigeria and Dubai is leadership. They had leaders, we don't have leaders. Part of the promises of this nation is that apart from crude, God has blessed us with natural resources and human resources. And all of these have not yielded anything good for the common man in Nigeria. Now, the problems, that crack that was promoted by ethnic divides began to expand. And today we have a situation where part of the problems, or some of the problems in Nigeria, is that there is a weaponization of poverty, weaponization of ignorance, weaponization of ethnicity and religion, and all of these things. So people are really confused. People are in despair. You go to the grassroots, and Kyle, I work with young people. People are living in problems, a lot of challenges, and so people cannot even aspire for life, as it were. I travel with you to northeastern part of the country just to meet with a mother, to advocate for things. You have seen things for yourself. You have lived in Nigeria for nearly 20 years. You know how things are here. So how can someone look at our context and really aspire for anything?
Yeah.
Now the problems are before us, and today Nigeria globally is known to be a killing field, whether it is by Boko Haram or by bandits or by herdsmen, whatever nomenclature you give, an ethno-religious crisis, and all of these things are just increasing. So how can we then live? No child will be happy that you have a son, a child, and at 60, the child is not running. The child is crawling. In the natural, there is no parent that will be happy. And such is the situation of our nation, Nigeria. Today is 60 years, and people were saying happy independence. I said, no, I am happy for life. There is nothing really to look at in Nigeria and celebrate. Unlike your place, I mean, one of the biggest holidays is independence, but here is not the same. And so that's the problem we have. But there is a hope. And I believe that if we'll begin to go back into our communities and begin to ask ourselves at different communities, what do we want? What future do we want for our nation? And begin to talk to solve problems. If you don't have water in your community, come as a community and ask yourself, what can we do? And then let communities expand to wards and let young people populate that discussion and ask themselves, who is our representative? Begin to ask or begin to call them to account for the reason why they are representing you. Let's stop celebrating people who have gone to represent us and they have our constituency allowances, but are not coming to develop our people. Let's stop that. Let's stop that culture of mediocrity. Let's call people to account for what is for our common good, and then hope will begin to rise. And I will add by saying that even our religious leaders, I think it's time to begin to teach people that while prayer is important, and I subscribe to prayer, it is important to know that there is place for work, there is place for diligence. There are many young people across my faith that will rather spend time 24 hours praying and not go out to try to do something. They are not contributing to things that will add to social community impact projects. They are praying. And I am asking the question, do you expect God to come from heaven and solve your problems? We have problems, but our religious people are not addressing the problems. They are preaching things that are out of this world many a times. I don't intend to be critical of this, but if I do, I am also in my own right a minister of the gospel, if I would say that. Yeah. And so I'm also talking to myself. I think it's time we begin to teach our young people how to change the narrative in Nigeria. Yes, we pray, but we also have to work. And all through the scripture, we have models. Watch and pray. Moses was on the mountain praying. Joshua was in the valley fighting. So prayer will impact on victory in the valley, but both will have to come together. And I think you don't pray for electricity. You work in the power sector. You don't pray for good roads. We want good roads. Lord, give us good roads. You work for good roads. Call our leaders to account. And if we don't do that, then maybe I will agree that there is no hope. We are heading to the gallows. Therefore, as long as we'll begin to change the way we think, and I believe that there is hope. Lastly, anytime I travel and I'm going back home, sometimes as soon as I am at Lagos or Abuja, believe in me, sometimes I feel depressed because you begin to see bulbs that are not working. You begin to see walls, pens that are dirty. You begin to see people that are lawless. People will not go in a queue, in a row, simple order. And that depicts the kind of nation we have. And of course, it's to do with leadership. But right now, even the followers need to rise and begin to make demands for our government to account for the reasons why they are in office. Once we can do that, then there is hope for our country.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty. That's pretty. It's a loaded statement. I mean, the hope is in there, right? I mean, you've said that. It's harsh to hear. These are harsh words. I mean, as you said, 60 years, and Gloria said it too. The life expectancy in Nigeria is only 54 years, and we're treating it like an infant, as you said. It can't even crawl on its own yet. It's struggling. So that's great. Yeah.
Like he mentioned something about like the youth and like how important it is for people to invest within the youth. I don't see what future any country has without investing or being able to invest in the next generation that will continue the work of the generation before. So I think your voice is important, and I think that a lot of what you have said, Ishaya, is really necessary for this time. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much for
Appreciate it.
joining us.
Thank
and
you for having me
being,
here.
yeah,
Thank you
being
very
a
much. I
part.
appreciate it.
We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. All right, our next guest is in there. I see him there. I see him. I'm gonna bring him in. Let's see if he's there. Oh, there he is. Amense, how are you?
Mense, how are you?
He's
you hear
there.
us?
Just wave if you can hear us. He's struggling. Maybe there's a delay. We'll put words in his mouth. Can you hear us? I think there's a delay.
All right.
We got a little.
He can't hear us.
No. Well, I can't. We can't hear. I think he's talking, but we're not hearing him.
Okay. I think we might have someone else coming on, but just I think that what Ishaya was saying is really good and necessary. A lot of these issues are really hard to kind of talk about. I was on Twitter one day and I saw what many people were just writing about the Independence Day celebration, and they were feeling like it wasn't much of a celebration just because of just the different stuff that has just been happening within the country. But I think that as Nigerians, we have to be hopeful. We have to be open to being able to be a part of the change. And that's why I think having discussions like this, hearing from each other and doing different things is really, really exciting. So
let's try to bring Amense. Yeah, I'm sorry, AJ. Let's try to bring Amense back in.
Yeah.
Can you hear us? No, he went dark. Oh man, we may have to call him on the landline. If they still have. Can you hear us? Or can we hear you? No, now he's frozen in time. He's there, people. Wait.
Yeah, so as we said, today people are going to be coming in and out, and sometimes there will be some connection issues and stuff, but just be encouraged. We will get through it. But we have people from all over the world that are here with us, and they will say certain things. So
yeah, I mean, I think let me try to call him on this number, see if we can get him to come in. I can put his, if we get him. Oh, he's go. If I call him, I'm sure it'll block his signal. So
okay, let me see if we've also got someone here.
can you can hear us, Amense? Might be his microphone setting. Let me try calling him on the. Yeah, I mean, this is these first three visitors or guests are all calling in from Nigeria, and that's another thing too. It's like, and someone says your dividends of democracy is this and that, but it's it's here we are. It's 2020, 60 years in. I mean, the infrastructure is there. The willingness to have it run is not.
It's not there to support the needs of the people, and I feel like there are so many Nigerians that have so many good ideas. And okay, can you hear? All right, I think I have someone here.
AJ, let me do this one first.
Okay, can you hear? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm just gonna put you on I'll put your picture up and just talk in the microphone. I can hear you. You all right?
Sure, we can make it quick.
Okay, go ahead. Amense, you're alive. Share with us some thoughts.
Hi, everyone.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Greetings from Nigeria. This is the first Independence Day celebration I've spent here in maybe 20 years. And it's ironic that I was a lot more excited to celebrate Nigeria independence outside the country than I am in it. And that's sad. Nigeria's in a difficult position right now. Let's just say the country is sick, right? There's a lot of things going on, and it needs prayers. So I would say we need prayers for peace as well as for justice. We need prayers to hold our leaders accountable, and for focus to be on making life better for the majority of Nigerians at the base of the pyramid. And so that's my hope for this country. The biggest thing, though, is that despite it all, there is unquenchable joy in the people, and that for me is the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, I'll let you go because I know the connection is not great, but immensely thank you so much for your time, for trying to make this work. We got it to work finally. We heard your voice. You see your picture. I put your picture up on the thing. So I appreciate you, and we'll keep praying for you as well and your family. I know that your mom's doing a lot too. You know, you have a history of people to look ahead of, and I think you're just following their example, and that's a kudos to you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, brother.
All right, bye.
All right, so I'd like to introduce our next guest. Our next guest is a really amazing person that is a really good friend of mine, and is the Agile coach, mindset speaker, psychologist, storyteller, wonderful person, and is a huge leading voice in women in empowerment. And we're just so eager to hear from her. Enzo, what's up?
I am so sorry. I was busy looking at my coffee. Thank you so much.
Right. I have a mate, coffee mate.
Thank you so much. Hi, Kyle. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Welcome. Good.
Good.
Happy.
I love it.
Happy Independence Day.
I think it's a choice, right? So I would say happy, when in real time, it's really not, but I think because happiness is an inside job, right? So it's I'm just going to claim it and say happy Independence Day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
As you know, today is Independence Day, and we're talking to different Nigerians just about Nigeria and how they view what the future of Nigeria can kind of look like and what it would be like you as a woman, with all of what you have experienced in your life and you have seen and stuff, how do you see the future for Nigeria? Do you say women's rights and opportunities that women can have, within your lifetime? Is there some change that you have been able to see or have come to experience that you feel is kind of good for you?
First, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No. I feel, you understand what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yes. I am so excited, even with what you said. I just couldn't wait. I wanted to jump on it because it's all, I'm igniting with answers right now. I'm I want to say. So first of all, I'm going to say that it's what I see from some of my family members and some of my friends there, and even some that go back and forth to come here and all that stuff. I think personally, what I see is there is some form of change happening. There is a movement, but the difference is it's slow. It's pretty slow. But what I see is there's more courage. there is more, people are more voicing out, their thoughts and taking action.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see again is a sense of collaboration and partnerships
Mm-hmm.
with, internationals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that helps them, take a stand,
Mm-hmm.
and keep pushing forward, or rather keep pulling themselves forward. So personally, I would say I see the change happening. I see courage. I see it's not easy because there is so much there's so much to fight. There's so much holding or trying to hold a lot of women back.
Yeah.
But I just love that regardless, there is a sense of strong resilience. Regardless, there's still that need to just thrive through the storm. That's what I see. And I'm just really proud of that. I think, if you want to see the change in the world, right, you have to start from you have to look around you.
Yeah.
You have to get the word out. You have to have tough conversations, painful conversations, and then you just have to do what you can in your own special way, to just create that change. And I see it happening. There's still a lot of work to be done. I think it takes a collective community
Yeah.
from different parts of the world, and it takes a lot of listening. I think listening is one of it's because it's such a sensitive and passionate kind of conversation. And so people can get triggered because when you put a word, like you put something out. For example, I think I saw something on you guys' page, and it's all about perspective, right? You put something out, you're trying to support a great cause that is well needed, but sometimes some people don't want you to talk about it because it gives them a bad name. But the truth is, you have to speak your truth and really do what you can to let the world know that this is the kind of impact and value people like Icon and so many others, like you guys, Icon, of course, trying to get the word out and just making sure that people like me, in fact, are inspired, to kind of be here. So yes, I am totally inspired by the women and the men, to be honest, the men side by side and rooting and saying, you know what, we can't live like this. We have to do something. We have to partner. We have to talk about it. We have to be about it.
So, so Enzo, can I ask you, um, if, if there was one thing that you could say that you would want to see change, or you feel could happen to Nigeria, like right now, that you feel would go a long way in the healing process and bringing peace and helping people understand certain things that um, that could kind of heal the negativity in which the direction of the country is going, like what would you say that you would want to speak to, with with like what you have seen, you have experienced, you have, because like for me, like at times, like growing up in Nigeria, like I can remember when there was a time it was so safe, like we used to sleep with our doors open, and like it was like our neighbor's house was our house too, because we, all of us kids, everyone would go and play. But now there are so many like security issues, and there are so many different things that are affecting the economy. Young people want to people want to get into school, but they just don't have that opportunity of getting into school and going through the process of getting a job and stuff like that. So what specifically would you want to speak to, or would you want to talk about that could help out with that?
One of the biggest things for me that if you I'm just gonna say it, and it's simple, but it's a big move. Is education, and I'm talking about education without walls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when I say my tongue, guys, excuse me, but it's the coffee, it's not kicking in yet. But what I was trying to say is, when I say education without walls, is align yourself with the things that you're passionate about and see what you can find out there. We are in a time of, when I say media and digitalization, right, is there's so much around the world that Nigeria is only a little box. So if we can find ways to educate ourselves through other mediums and other means, I think there'll be a sense of, we can change things. We can be more creative or create different ways or avenues to, to partner. And I really feel the reason why I'm hitting on education and partnerships is because that is what is pulling a lot of people that I know back home up, and also listening.
Yeah.
Be open-minded. I think we need to really understand what that means. And this also means educating ourselves. What does it take to listen to a person's perspective and why they believe the way they believe? And how can we change so that we can accommodate them, but still be friends, but still grow together and not fight each other, because there is space for every single one to just be a part of something. So education and listening, education without walls. I'm not talking about just, you are like you're in school. I'm talking about real-time education and just, connect yourself with different people. Look at for example, like the little boy, the video that went viral of the little boy that was in the dancer, the ballet dancer.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about. And what I'm saying is they found a way to put themselves in the scene, and they were seen and recognized. So that alone is a difference that will inspire others to do better. So I'm not talking about just him. I'm talking about the having that sense, that perspective of, what? If the world around me is not ready to change, if everybody is crazy and acting like they don't want to move forward, you know what? I am going to be the better man or the better woman. So educate yourselves and just listen. I feel like that is the biggest thing, because I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day. I'm still educating myself. I'm still trying to figure things out, because we're all in the world of figuring things out. Regardless, just do that. Your master's, PhD, whatever, or you don't have it, it doesn't matter. Self-education is the highest respect I will give someone. Who are you?
Enzo, thank you so much for...
I'm talking too much, but yes, thank you guys for having me.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Good. Great insights.
We really appreciate you coming out and taking time to just help us talk about Nigeria, and I believe that what you had to say is going to go a long way, and keep on doing what you're doing. So good to see you.
I know.
We'll catch up sometime again.
Catch up. You guys, I really feel like singing the national anthem. I can't even remember it all. I'm so embarrassed. I rise. Okay, guys, I'm kidding, but thank you. Love you guys.
All right.
Kyle, it's so nice to meet you. You guys have a blessed day, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we do have another person here who is another great, amazing friend. And he is calling in from Lagos. He is a poet. He is the one that heads Freedom Hall. Nice open mic program. And his name is Torpedo Moscow.
Whoa.
Are you in the house?
Hey. we see the name.
Torpedo. Are you there?
He muted himself.
Yeah, you have to unmute yourself. We can't unmute you.
Torpedo. I like the name.
Yeah. Yeah, there you are.
We hear you.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, man. See if I can get his picture up here. Yeah, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly. How are you? How is Lagos? What have you been up to? Okay, I think our connection is um
Yeah, we was
coming.
hearing it, but then
Yeah.
we lost it. Huh. Well, let's see if he comes back in again. We see it there. So,
All right. Um
I mean, this is good. I mean, like you said at the beginning, it's just going to be loose and kind of jumping around. But I think it's been good to see. Okay, I see a picture of someone. Let's add him in. Let's see if we get him. Uh-oh. Just as soon as we had him, we lost him.
Yeah. See him coming in and out.
But as we wait for him to come in, I mean, these are great. These are great comments, insight. Here it is, 60 years, and like Shai said, and others said, I mean, it's supposed to be a cause for celebration, but there's little to be celebrated because
Yeah.
progress isn't there. I mean, a lot of these people have been out of the country. They've seen other things. They've seen development happen. Yet when they come back to their own country, they just sometimes shake their head. And so our leaders have gone around the world. UN meetings to African Union meetings to visits to China, and they see it. They see the infrastructure. They see 24 hours electricity, 5G networks, water, clean water, health, and that. And we don't have it. Nigeria doesn't have it.
Yeah, but then like to me, like in my eyes, like that's what I don't understand about, like the whole process of everything. Like, why is it that you wouldn't want to try to invest in the talents that people have, just like what Enzo was saying about the boy that does ballet. Like this
Yeah, that
boy
was crazy.
was is doing ballet so well, and like the people in the country or like our leaders couldn't like say, hey, this is something that is great to invest in, but but um but uh but it it takes somebody else from the outside to see the talents that Nigerians have to say that I want to invest in this because I know it's some value. Do our leaders know our value, the value of what we have to offer? You understand? So it's like, it's just sad.
Yeah, let's try Torpedo again. I think he's back in. I got a picture we can put up there. So why don't you see if he's add him into the stream once and see what happens.
All right, let's see if we can get him in there.
He's got to unmute.
Yeah, then he's got to unmute.
He's muted. Yeah.
Can you unmute it?
Technology. Isn't there a song like that from Napoleon Dynamite?
Napoleon Dynamite. That was a good movie.
Well, we still can't hear him. I don't know if he can hear us. I think he can. There you go. Oh, I heard him, and then he went muted again. There you go. Hello? Can you hear us? Can you share?
Yeah, we
go for it.
We can hear you. How are you?
Go for it. frustrating, huh? Yeah, I think it's a shaky
but I think
connection.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, but now can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a little too
Hello?
what do you call it? All right,
Yeah, so we have another person here.
wait, let's try him again.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, let's
Oh, I thought we had a better connection. All right, let's see if we can come back to Torpedo. It seems like a little wavy, too wavy. So why don't you introduce the next one?
Okay, so our next guest that we have here is his name is Shalom Bako.
I thought we had.
Yeah, we can hear you, Shalom. Hey, nice to meet you.
Clear.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly. Yeah.
Awesome.
So nice to see you. Shalom Bako is a marketing and development manager at Dreams and Ambition, is it?
Well, yeah, that's my organization. I am currently the, I guess, CEO and president of Sub-Saharan Group.
Okay.
And Sub-Saharan Group, we essentially do marketing and distribution of agricultural commodities from West Africa across the world.
Yeah. So I learned about your organization yesterday, and it was pretty interesting. I was so encouraged by what your organization does. Would you want to just kind of just share just a little bit? You don't have to give too much detail if you don't want, but just kind of talk about what you are doing with the agricultural sector and ginger in Nigeria, in the U.S., and I think in Mexico, you were saying?
Yeah, so, I guess backstory, I was born and raised in Nigeria. I went to school in Jos. I grew up in Nigeria and I came to the States as a teenager. And so after I graduated college, I started Dreams and Ambition, which for me was it was just a mission to go back home and find something I can trade between countries. So I started that in 2010, and that has kind of evolved into us focusing on agriculture. And so with ginger, with shea butter, with hibiscus flowers, we farm them obviously in Nigeria. Most of our farms are primarily in the north, and so we do a lot of farming, and we export, and we're getting into manufacturing coming into this next year. So we actually, package. So this is the ginger, for example. This is ginger from Kaduna.
Oh, wow.
And this is into powder. So I process it into powder locally in Kaduna.
Yeah.
Same thing with shea butter. I do shea butter in Niger State. Just package them, process them, bring them in whipped, just like the international market wants it. So I guess that's in a nutshell really all we do. I just market them just like you would market any other product in the States. So that's the marketing side of it. And the distribution side just had to do a lot with the local aspect and processing and then exporting it.
So let me ask you this. So with like what you have been doing with producing the crops in Nigeria and then shipping it around the world, like how does that process kind of work? Because like I do know that there are a lot of Nigerians that are out there that would be kind of listening in and I'm just then saying, wow, this guy's doing like a lot of great stuff. I want to try to do something like that, but I don't even know where to start or what I can do to kind of start from maybe like a little farm or some sort of little acre of land and then say, let me try to expand into going into this part of the business and create something tangible for themselves or for like their livelihood.
Yeah, so like I said, this has been a 10-year journey for me.
Yeah.
Right. Everything we're talking about today, present day, is something that I started 10 years ago. Right after college here, and not a lot of people at that time were looking to go back home. If you ask most Nigerians, including the ones listening, everybody's looking to go to America, go to Dubai, go to UK. Everybody is running away from the fact that we have the responsibility to fix our own country. And that's something like, what's her name earlier? Enzo was talking about, perspective. I believe Ishaya also mentioned, faith, but also action. And that's a responsibility I've taken on myself, not to wait for government to give me anything. I know that we farmed. Nigeria, over 100 years ago, we were exporting peanut pyramids out of Kano. We've been exporting leather. This is nothing new. We've been doing this for hundreds of years. And I believe that people have just forgotten the basics. It's not rocket science. You have a farm, you have a small piece of land, you farm on it. It might not be enough to export, but you can at least sell it in the local market. Right? Going back to education, we all know that the disparity of education between the North and the South is huge. But what is available in the North is skills and labor and human resources. I just chose to look at it a different way and say, look, this is what I can do for my people. I'm from Gombe. I was born in Bauchi. This is what I know we grew up with. My father grew up farming. My grandmother grew up farming. This is stuff we've always done. Selling it just has to do with marketing. I own my Dreams and Ambition is really a marketing company. And all we've done is market and learn how to develop digital online marketing skills, experiential marketing skills, and just apply it to our local product. It's not rocket science. Anybody can do it. It just takes the time. It takes persistence. Like Enzo said, it takes listening. And that is some of the biggest challenges we have, right? People don't want to listen. You have an older man doesn't want to listen to me because I'm too young. This one, what does this small boy know? That kind of thing. But the reality is we all have the skills. We all have we have different opportunities. However, I believe we all have the same opportunity. The farmer is just as important as me selling it to anybody else. We all have our roles, we all have our responsibilities, and we need to take on those responsibilities ourselves as Nigerians, not as, waiting for somebody else to do it for us.
So would you say that a lot of the responsibility is more on the government? Should the people rely on the government to make the roads for these opportunities, or do we have like a role to play as citizens ourselves to say hey, like either this is my hustle, I want to figure this thing out on my own?
No, I think, look, if you want to wait for government, wait another 60 years. No, I'm serious.
100 maybe.
Wait another 60 years. If you want to wait for government, wait another 60 years. What I'm saying is we all have individual responsibility. I went to school in Jos. I know all the issues. I went back to Nigeria, if you want to call it living comfort of America, to go back home. But even when we go back home, everybody that goes back home, where are most of them? Lagos, Abuja. Abuja, Nigeria is not just Lagos and Abuja. Everybody is concentrating on those areas when you can go to Anambra and get coconut oil. When you can go to Jigawa and get hibiscus. When you can go to Katsina and get sesame seeds. You can do certain things, and it's not just farming. We have skills. Online education is free. People have great graphic and other skills that you can use and market. But at 60, Nigeria, some of our biggest problems, at least that I see in the diaspora internationally, since we're in the international committee, right, is our reputation, right, is a huge problem. It's a huge hurdle for us to be able to do business or expand internationally. That's where the diaspora comes in. The diaspora needs the African continent and home, Nigeria, just as much as Nigeria needs us. If you're in the diaspora.
So the last question that I will ask you, and this is just like a wild card.
How come you get to ask all the questions?
All right. So just this is like my last question though, but this is like a wild card. So there is climate change, and in almost every other country within the world, they are talking about climate change and how it'll affect you know, all of these other countries, but we never hear about how climate change is going to affect Africa itself. You being like a farmer, like what would be like your own take on, you know, year after year? Does it get harder to make the crops? Does it, you know, like where do you think climate change is in Africa, and like what do you think we the people or like the government should do against these kind of things, you know?
Okay. I'll be honest with you. I haven't given a ton of time to thinking about climate change. And here's why. When I go to the north
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking to a farmer,
Mm-hmm.
I'm meeting with all the farmers in the community, their immediate problems is not climate change.
Mm-hmm.
The immediate problem is, okay, now I get what you're saying in terms of, okay, if we farm and the weather affects the crops and things like
Mhm.
that, yes, that is very real, but it's not at a point right now where at least I'm not thinking about it on that scale yet. I'm trying to build basic infrastructure
Yeah.
and start there. There's a flood in Jigawa, like Jigawa got flooded, Hadejia,
Mm-hmm.
right? That doesn't have to do with climate change per se. That just had to do with infrastructure,
Yeah.
you know? And for the typical Nigerian, I don't think the typical Nigerian is focusing on climate change because they're still trying to find what to chop day to day,
Yeah.
you know? And I, quite frankly, I just haven't spent a ton of time thinking about climate. I can feel it in California,
Yeah.
you know, but maybe that's something I need to spend more time, you know,
research.
thinking. Yeah, because I mean, with farming, it's important, but
Yeah.
that's just the
Yeah.
truth.
Focus is in the right place. Your focus is on the people, on the product, on the infrastructure versus this other thing that should have been looked at 10, 20, 30 years ago. It's nothing
Yeah.
new. I mean,
Right.
people have been talking climate change for years. So let's deal with it and get the structures. This flooding shouldn't be happening in cultures that have water that has every year, every other year. This should be stopped and used. Use it, table it, use it for a resource, store it, something.
Yeah, I mean, I say that to say, you know, it's more of, it's something that's not really in my control. And so there's not much I can do about it. I try to focus on the things that I know I can control, things that I can take personal responsibility for, things that I can deliver and give back. And, you know, there's things like, so this is an example of a drink where the hibiscus flowers and the ginger from this drink, which is sold in England, it comes from the flowers in Jigawa, comes from the ginger and Kaduna. You know, these are opportunities that I think more Nigerians or anybody listening to me needs to explore.
Yeah.
You know, we need to work together. We need to do partnerships. Yes. But more than anything, I think at 60, every Nigerian from here on out for the next 60 years, if they took personal responsibility for even for their own small community, just where you are, the entire population everywhere would be much better.
Yeah.
All right. Shalom.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So just send AJ your website, whatever. We'll post it on the thing. So make sure people check you out. I think this is exactly what we want. Entrepreneurs that want to make something of their country. So we appreciate it and keep going.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
For having me.
Yeah, Shalom. Thank you for joining the conversation. Really means a lot to us.
Thank you, AJ. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Have a great day.
All right. Happy Independence Day.
Yeah. Happy Independence Day,
thank
man.
you too.
Yes.
All right. That was crazy. I mean, that's exactly what you want in Nigeria is people doing something for. I mean, so Hamense, the guest before was he lived in America for many years, studied there, got a job, Goldman Sachs, could have stayed there, could have just been comfortable, threw a couple dollars. He came back a year ago to try to get back into the. I mean, it's impossible, not impossible.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, very difficult to do. So what Shalom is doing is what we need to be. We need to be promoting those a lot more than this, because this is, you know, people like that who stay in the country or give back to the country, not just take from the country, but give back and want to develop. That's great.
Yeah.
Let's go to Abel now. Let's see if we can get him on. Let's see if he's on. Abel, are you? Can you unmute your mic? Oh boy, unmute your. All right, good. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, good. So this is another good friend. He's a leader with the Albino Foundation. committee member with the Federal Ministry of Health on skin cancer and related issues. He's also part of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities. He's built himself up from the grassroots to where he is today, and he's just glad to have you with us. Just share with us just some things that you're working on, things you want to see change in Nigeria, and just any hope for Nigeria that you can share with us.
Yeah, I think thank you so much. Nigeria is a great country. It's just that Nigeria is a great country, actually, a lot of opportunities, a lot of potentials. I remember a couple of years ago when I look at the whole thing, the feelings about the albino people in Nigeria was kind of horrible. But looking at it, in that I saw opportunities, and then I pick it up from there. We started we started from Plateau State, from just myself, and we've been going, and today we are about 400 now, about 400 members of the community. And basically what we've done is to be able to educate people about the issues of albinism and what the health issues, and basically we're also trying to tell people the potentials that persons with albinism have. Now, we've gone through the policy making process. Now in Nigeria, we have a national policy on albinism that wasn't there before. We're trying to advocate at the community level, and we've been having sort of workshops and other things, radio programs, television programs, engaging with the government, the Federal Ministry of Health, and other things, so as to bring to the table the issues that persons with albinism have. But above all, we are grateful. We are trying to tell people that, hey, it's good. You can be an albino, and you can do, and you can have anything you want. It's not just that when you are albino, it's also gone. Everything is finished. No. It's not like that. We're trying to tell people that we have strength, and then luckily, why we started this, I think that was when I met Kyle. That was sometimes year 2000 or so when I met him, and we started together as friends. And today, the process we started is yielding a lot of fruits. Now, we've been trying all we could. That's in the area of skin cancer, in the area of education. We build ourselves up. We encourage our members so that they can remain independent. For instance, myself, just like the last speaker said, if you wait for the government, you wait another 60 years. And that is truthful, because the jobs are not just there. Although even if they're there, you need to know that person, that know that one, that know the other one, before you can get the jobs, the good jobs there. So basically, having built our capacity, which is what we are still doing every day, it is nice, and then to also tell others about these issues. And then the capacity of the persons with albinism themselves, it's important when they build a capacity, they know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Now, when I came here, I was just a secondary school holder, actually. And from there, when I pick up the challenge, I went through the Polytechnic, went through the university, and went through the Nigerian College of Accountancy, and on the list is still going. And I still remain the person I am. And basically, as I go up, or as my knowledge broadens, I have a lot of more opportunities. People say, well, there are no opportunities in Nigeria. And I say, no, there are. It's just that we haven't tapped into the potentials. Now, for instance, I started as a digital person. Worked a couple of things with Kyle. He has been helpful and encouraged me at a critical time when I needed him the most. And from there, I began to develop myself into computers, work.
No.
Oh, wow.
Is it a glitch, or is he coming back? Let's give him a second or so.
Yeah.
It's Nigeria problem.
Some few.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
building
You
my
are.
capacity.
Yep.
And that's how we've been on and on. And right now, we're member of national policy. We've gone national policy on albinism, and we are at the implementation stage. And then we're working with the Ministry of Health to see how persons with albinism can benefit in the health sector. And then we're also seeing how we can empower them, how we can also build their confidence to be able to go out there and get something for themselves doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mr. Abel, so like, what are some of the issues probably that you would say that like has been like the hardest part of the work that you have been doing?
Yeah, the issue is in twofold. One of the first one is acceptance. At
Yeah.
first, people were with albinism were like were not really accepted in public places.
Yeah.
Many of them, a lot of them, even if they lack confidence. Persons with albinism on their part lack confidence. So when we realize that this is one of the challenges, we had to come back and then start building their confidence. And then even at the grassroots, that's why now in Plateau State we are going from every senatorial zone. I've done that. We've done like 6 workshops trying to build the capacity of persons with albinism, and then that. And then one of the challenges was funding, because when we started, Kyle was the only friend I had at that time who could listen to the little bit. There's a little we could say, and then give us attention. And so there was nothing like funding until like for 13 years.
Okay.
It is the 13th year that we have like voice Nigeria. It's a team from Oxfam that they happen to help us. That's why we were able to go into the field and then mobilize members. From one person, that's from myself, up to now, up to the point that we have like 400 persons now. And within this period, marriages, that's the cultural beliefs that people have about albinism. The perception is changing, the narrative. There's a percentage change in the way people look at persons with albinism before and the way they look at them now. So it's been very difficult because of access to funding or access to some of these policies which could have enabled life become very easy for persons with albinism. So at first we have to struggle with the policy, and then secondly we have to struggle with the awareness and things like that. But thank God it's going on. And today, as a member of national National Association for Persons with Disabilities in Nigeria, thank God we now have a national board for persons with disabilities, national commission, sorry, for persons with disabilities in Nigeria. And we hope that within the few years
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
change the perception of how Nigerians look at persons with disabilities and then persons with albinism in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
No,
you
that's
so
great.
much.
I mean, we've appreciated. This isn't. Uh, it's not easy because a person with disabilities should be given every right as everyone else, but in fact, Nigeria's kind of limited the people in a sense.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is great. Keep it up. You bring us encouragement, inspiration. So we just appreciate all you're doing, Abel, or as I like to call him, Cowboy. So keep up the great work and.
That's great.
All right.
Yeah. Thank
Great.
you so much,
So-
Abel.
Great.
Nigeria, I'm wishing every one of you there happy independence. Though in Nigeria we're happy because even though Nigeria has its own challenges, we have our own challenges, but we appreciate the fact that we still remain one entity and indivisible country. We hope that things doesn't get far worse than this. We are praying every day. We appreciate that God is helping us, and we hope things will get better someday.
All right.
Thank you
Great,
so much.
great. Thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks so
much.
much. God bless.
Bye.
All right.
Wow, that was great.
That was awesome. All right. We have another person we would like to also add.
Who are you gonna pick? You got a lineup there.
All right. Yeah.
They got a backlog.
All right. All right. So
let's go, Ruby.
Yeah. So we have Ruby Gyang. Hey, Ruby.
Hi, AJ. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
We can hear you. I can hear you
too. So
welcome.
Ruby. Yeah. So Ruby is one of Nigeria's amazing artists. Let me just read some of the stuff that she has achieved here, which is really cool. She got a award for independent music in Nigeria, and was nominated for the best collaboration for Heart of the City. Is that?
Yeah.
For Heart of the City, for best female artist, for best vocal performance, for best alternative song, best R&B video, best female.
Keep it
artist,
going.
West
Keep
Africa,
going.
Best so.
I can't remember a lot of these songs.
Yeah. Well,
that's what we're here for. Here to remind you.
Yeah. Well, I actually found it like on Facebook, so it's there. I mean.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
nice.
Yeah, and technically, like, I didn't even write down everything, but yeah. So Ruby, so Ruby is one of those female voices that I feel has been so relevant for this generation, for trying to empower women and bring up issues that women have going on around. And through her music, through her activism, it has been so amazing. Ruby, tell us more about yourself and just stuff that has been going on with you.
Wow, AJ, first off, thank you very much, for digging up all that information. A lot of times.
Wait, hold on up. I was even supposed to be doing something.
Oh my gosh, oh my god, my alarm. I have a ton of them. Okay. So, sorry. First off, happy Independence Day to everybody watching. It's just beautiful to see that in spite of everything that has gone on, the less than ideal situation we face here, people are still hopeful, people are still optimistic, and people are happy somehow, some way. And it's such a blessing to have that. As for me, over the past 10 years, it's been music full time. But entering this new decade now, it's more about, business. It's more about giving back, partnering with people like you guys with what you're doing, being someone from the North, born and bred, it's, to me, it's important to see what I can give back and how I can just help out, in no matter whatever capacity I can. So that is where I'm at. I know you have a ton of people, so I don't want to talk too long.
No. So the thing there is that I want to ask you a lot of questions, and I want to give you time to answer. So if you make long answers, we won't get to hear a lot of questions. So
well, it's the questions, AJ. Just ask the questions.
Yeah. So so basically, I have been curious about like how you view the future of Nigeria from the perspective of women. Like, do you see, and this is like the same question that I asked Enzo earlier, about like how do you see like the opportunities for women and women's rights becoming better, and like where you actually see like a place for women doing greater things in Nigeria's future, or like
absolutely women are stepping up in the most amazing way. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and she's a feminist already. She's an activist. Yes. She's on social media getting into these conversations. Sometimes they turn into arguments, so you have a lot. I think for me, the future is so bright, and particularly because I'm a mom.
That was for your daughter.
Oh, thanks. I was like,
AJ's a little delayed. Yeah,
that's it.
He's been waiting to do that. So don't give him any more fuel to fire.
Yeah. That is what we want. We want you to embrace, strong women that will do a lot of good things, and
yes.
So yes, let her know. That's right.
Well, I think I've answered that one. I think it's bright. I think you have women. Women are doing big things from business, to politics, to tech, to banking and finance. Like in every sector, you see women killing it in Nigeria. So I like the example that is now being set for the next generation. My daughter and those younger, because now they are seeing women actually doing these big things. So a lot of the hang-ups that the past generations had faced, or now they don't have that. Now it's just possibility. So
Okay.
yeah.
So my last thing for that I want you to say, if there was any message that you had for young women out there and
Yeah.
other young people that like you know what the journey is as an artist
Yeah.
in trying to just really find like your personality and yourself and getting a lot of your message out there. Like if you had a message for those people that are really trying to come out and do a lot of stuff, what would that message be? What would you say to them?
I'll say to them, they need to understand that their greatest asset is their mind, and they need to develop that. They need to learn. Whatever field you're going into, you need to study. You need to develop certain skills. You need to develop your communication skills, your critical thinking skills. You need to develop your people skills. You just need to develop yourself. You are your best asset, first and foremost. So start with that. There's a ton of information now, online. Personally, I spend a lot of time on YouTube just studying, watching a ton of videos. There's nothing you cannot learn now. I would say if you want to go, for those interested in entertainment, they need to understand that they are not just creatives, they are also entrepreneurs. They are business people. So they need to pay as much attention to the business arm as they do to the creative arm. Because if you don't do that, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. So it's extremely important to learn about the business of whatever creative thing you're doing. But you are your greatest assets. There's information out there to learn. Develop yourself. Keep growing. Keep taking advantage of technology. Like for example, this StreamYard thing that I didn't know about it. I've learned something now. There's just, I had no idea.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to stop that right now. Ruby,
All right.
stop that. You're giving him too much ammunition to fire.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah. All right. But yeah, Ruby, thank you so much for joining and being a part. Your voice is awesome. If you haven't heard any of Ruby's songs, look her up on YouTube or on Facebook. Yeah, and thank you for coming around. You have a wonderful day. Keep on being you. Never change. Yeah, rock and roll. Take care. Yep.
Thanks. Good. Thanks for joining us. Yep. Wow, that was good. It's good. It's good to have the artists involved as well. I mean, that's not just on singing. They're or performing. They have a passion. It comes from the heart.
They have a message.
From the mind.
That they feel that they are obligated to giving to people to hear. So I think that is just really, really cool.
Well, let's get Lawrence up here quick. He's in front of a group of people. Let's see if we can. Oh yeah, I hear the big group. Hey, Lawrence, welcome. Can you hear us?
All right. Okay.
Welcome. Where are you and who are you with?
All right. I'm with a group of people here in the church.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Where are you?
I'm in Miango Gospel Church, Miango.
Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Well,
that one. Sorry, Okay, good. Go ahead, Lawrence.
I think it's on mute.
All right.
All right.
Can you hear us?
Nice meeting you, Kel and AJ.
Yep. Yep. Good. Somehow he keeps going on mute. Wow.
Right.
I see the group. Just as the group. Now. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Lawrence. We can hear you. We can see you.
Do you have any message for us for Independence Day?
Yes, the group. Yes, we're having our youth fellowship.
Good.
Can you all say happy independence to everyone here? And
Yeah.
They're saying hello to everyone.
Yes,
Great,
hello.
great, good.
Good to see everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Lawrence, Lawrence is one of our reporters, our field workers, and
we discussed the
go ahead.
right?
Okay. Good. I think there's a little delay, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a little delay. Well, Lawrence, just before we lose you, I mean, Lawrence is an activist, an advocate, a journalist. Maybe one more time. How much is the delay? That's crazy. So one last time, just greet us and say Happy Independence Day from Nigeria.
Hi, from Nigeria today. The Independence Day was so very boring in Miango district due to the last attack yesterday, where 2 communities were attacked, Pachudu and Zangwa village. They were all attacked in Miango district. Instead of us celebrate the independence, we all mourn and we all stay at home. Nobody went out and all markets were closed and no activities was engaged due to the attack. So we kind of try to organize a procession today, certain that accepted by the Additional Council, and the procession was actually suspended. But today we didn't plan going out to engage ourselves in any activities because of the attack that has happened today yesterday night in the community. And the community has been a vulnerable community for long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yes,
so other than that, I mean, we continue to hear of conflict and everything. How is the village today? Are they still struggling?
Yes. We thank God. God has been protecting us, and God has been saving the community. The institutions, as Christians, we all come together and seek for the face of God. And we're also that you continue to pray for us too, and also take our petitions to God in prayers.
Amen. Great. Well, before we lose any more connection, we just appreciate you, your work, your words, your activities. So just keep strong and encourage. You know, it's not a day to celebrate always, but it's a day to remember and mark that next year will be better. Next year will be better. So we continue to have hope, and we just thank you for all you're doing and all your efforts.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lawrence.
Thank you very much, sir. The church has been all greeting. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. Wow, that was good.
Man, I wanted them to hear my siren. Anyways.
Oh.
All right.
So I'm going to call our next guest, Alhari Bawa Magaji. Alhari, can you hear us?
Hello. Yes, I can. Hello.
Okay, good. You are live.
Hi, everybody.
Great.
Hey, how are you?
Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Celebrating independence with no internet. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Thanks for phone calling.
So, so we can hear you. So go ahead and share some thoughts of what you've been doing in Kaduna, the group that you helped to found. I know it's not been easy with the Adara people in Kaduna State, but just share some hope, share some concerns, and then share some hope on this Independence Day.
Oh, okay. Well, like Kyle said, my name is Alheri Magadi. I'm Adara from Kaduna State. I'm co-founder of Radai, an NGO that works with the displaced in Kaduna State. Mm-hmm. And we've been involved with hundreds and hundreds of displaced people who have not where to go back to, where to lay their head, what to eat, soap, detergent, toothpaste, and things like that. Mm-hmm. So what we try to do is to empower them and not just to give them food, because you give them food and you give them soap and clothing, and a few days after they need them again. So we try to empower them tried to find them places to stay. So there's a lot to do, but we're grateful for what we've been able to do so far. The Adara chiefdom is still balkanized. We're still in court. We've been in court about 5 times now, with the state government never showing up or always giving one excuse or the other, saying they were not notified. And then COVID-19 came up, and then we still haven't gone back to court.
Yeah.
So that's still there. It's 2 years now, our chief has been murdered. There's still been no replacement. But what people don't know is that technically, according to Kaduna state government now, there is no Adara chiefdom. It has been balkanized into Kajuru Emirate and Kajia chiefdom. So we are in court now to try to get our chiefdom back and to get a replacement for our chief. In all of this, though, we are grateful for everything that has happened, because the Lord says joy comes in the morning. And I believe that everything that has happened, unfortunately, this has to happen for the world to really know what's happening. And we're happy with the response we've been getting. I'm happy the government is now complaining that the media is listening to us instead of them. And I just want to say, today being Independence Day, that I wish the government would stop saying we're against them when we talk about what's happening to our people. Like, this is our story. I can only say my story. I can't speak for anybody else. And creating awareness has done us a lot of good, because we've gotten a lot of help to the displaced. There are those who don't even want material things. They need trauma counseling, and we've been trying to get that to a few as well. And just giving hope to people. It means a lot when people have given up completely and you're able to put a smile on their face, pay their hospital bills. So it's been us trying to make things right, and so we don't feel right when the government says we're inciting violence or we're against them. We're not against them. We're trying to work with them to be able to make things better for all of us in Nigeria.
Yeah. But Al Harry, if there was one thing that
I could go on and on, so let me just stop here.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think AJ, she can't hear you because it's on my thing. So
okay.
But yeah, so what question do you have, AJ?
I just wanted to ask her like what she would suggest that
Hi, AJ.
like hey, how are you? Probably what the government could do or
yeah, what can the government do to help? Well, I mean, as you said, I think Al Harry, you're not attacking the government. You're asking for accountability and transparency. So what more can the government do to help or intervene?
I think the government should take care of the victims first of all. If like they say, they have no hand in what is happening and they're just trying, as everyone else, to make sure that the killing stop, the kidnapping stop, and people can eat without being hunted and like animals even while they sleep. I think what they can do is to at least show some empathy. Their lack of empathy at all is a cause of concern for all of us. Because it's ridiculous to me that victims are held back in the hospitals because they can't pay their bills. These people were in their homes. Recently, we had a case of a boy who had 8 bullets removed from his stomach, and the hospital called my organization to say they know this is what we do, and there's a boy that has been in the hospital for over a month. He's in treatment, but they can't let him go because he needs to pay 134,000. And it's ridiculous to me. There are government hospitals, there are government doctors. The least they can do is to treat these victims for free. I mean, why would anyone come to your house and burn everything you own, burn everything, kill your family, and then you're stranded in the hospital because you can't pay bills? So little things like this just help the people go back to their home. We still have people who go back in Gete Kanda area. They still can't go back to their villages because the Fulani herdsmen are there. And we keep saying these things, and the government acts like they don't know. And we said, if you think we're go to the villages and take a picture. They always go around with convoys and media teams to take pictures everywhere. Go take a picture in these villages with men. They wouldn't go there to take pictures. Everybody is acting like, oh, nothing is happening. Meanwhile, there are people stranded, sleeping on the bare floor, literally on the bare floor, with no mask whatsoever. You know, and the government is acting like they don't know about these things. And we talk about this and they say we are inciting violence. I was in a peace building meeting, and Samuel Aron, the commissioner for whatever he calls himself, was there. And it was a peace building meeting that I was nobody. He called my name 5 times. That's a whole commissioner. So I was wondering if a whole commissioner is bothered about what Alheri Magadi is posting on Facebook. Little wonder they're not the real victims or the real bandits, because it doesn't make sense that they're being petty, following people like Stephen Kepas or anybody that tries to say their story while things are happening. We still have the kidnapped 2 girls from Kaduna State. A ransom was paid on Sunday, I hear. They still have not been released. These are little girls who just went to write their junior WAEC. I don't know if the government has said anything about them.
Yeah.
Things are happening and it's just silent. So I think the very least the government can do is to show some empathy, show that you care. Even if you can't stop the killings completely, at least make an effort. Let us see you make an effort. But it's not nice to just try to say your story and then you're shut down in speaking. So if they don't believe what you say, how will they even intervene to make it stop?
Yeah.
I have still not seen any news of bandits being arrested. Well, we read it in the news sometimes, but sometimes when you hear it on the news, I asked one of our foot soldiers, one of our contacts in the village, and he told me that some Adara boys were arrested a few days ago, and nothing has been said about them. They don't know where they are, but on the news, you hear, oh, bandits were arrested. So it's not adding up. There is no fairness in the truth. There's no justice. There's no fairness in how they've been acting. It's really saddening that things are made out to billions in this case. Yeah.
No, it's just this is great. I mean, I met you last year. We brought you to DC. You shared a great story, testimonies, what's going on. Again, you're not attacking or accusing. You're just asking for clarity, for understanding, as you said, empathy. And I think that's the theme, because without it, the government is just going to fail.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is really important.
We just want justice. We just want justice and fairness to be done.
Yeah.
When my father was arrested, they kept asking us, "What do you want?" And we said, "No, we don't want a pardon. We want to go to court."
Yeah.
Because they kept saying, "Oh, ask for a pardon, ask for a pardon." But you see, if we ask for a pardon and they were released based on a pardon, it will always be there that maybe they did something wrong, and that is why they were arrested. But my dad was in prison for 103 days. There was no bail. There was no trial, and it was thrown out for lack of evidence.
Yeah.
So when I hear the Kaduna State government talk about them being fair and just, I just laugh, because it's we all know that's not true.
Yeah.
Still not acknowledged fact. They locked 9 Adara elders up for a whole over 100 days and still act today like they don't know what they did.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to sweep it under the carpet and know it didn't happen. But that's what is happening in Kaduna State. And when you tell people what's happening, it's so ridiculous, people don't believe it. Honestly, if I wasn't living it, I wouldn't either sometimes. So I don't blame people sometimes if they don't believe what we're going through.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think as a government, they can do the barest minimum. I mean, there's FEMA, the emergency, whatever they have.
Yeah.
NEMA brought food to the Gonorogo victims 2 months ago. That was only because Stephen Kepas and John Fulani had a Twitter awareness about it and caught NEMA's attention, and NEMA came. We have the state emergency funding thing, whereas, so that's what I don't understand. There's money allocated for this thing, but nothing is being done. The people are not being. I've never been to anything where the government came to feed people, and we have thousands of internally displaced people across southern Kaduna. But I don't see anybody going to help them. Only international organizations and international national organizations and individuals. You know, those are the people who help out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't speak of a government. It doesn't speak well of a government who say they're trying hard to make things stop or trying hard to alleviate the suffering of the people.
Yep.
Nobody asked to be hunted down and be slaughtered like animals. And then the very least the government can do is to take them back to their home.
Yeah.
If they can't provide hospital bills, the least they can do is to make sure they go back to their villages.
Yeah.
But they can't even go back to their villages, so they're totally stranded on their own land.
Yeah. I mean, these are great points. I wish we had more time to hear. I mean, you're doing so much, Alhari. I mean, with
Thank
Radi
you.
and all the
Thank
other stuff. Keep it up. Keep the momentum
Thank
going.
you.
And as much as we can,
Thank
we will
you.
we'll work together. So appreciate you so much.
Yeah, and for those of
For everything you do for us. Thank you so much. God bless.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks.
And for those of you that are tuning in, if you don't know like what has been going on, if you want to get more information, you can go to www.iconhelp.org and you can check out what our organization has been doing about the crisis or the silent slaughter that has been happening in Nigeria. It's just one of the saddest things ever. Nigeria has so much potential, but just with just a lot of the things that have been happening, just so much is just being thrown away over nothing, you know. And it's a great nation, great people. So
yeah. Wow, AJ, we've been live for an hour and a half.
Yeah, man, that's right.
I looked at the clock and I'm like, it's been an hour and a half. I thought I wouldn't get past a half an hour.
Yeah, I think that I still got 3 more people here that I want.
And I still got some more coolie.
Man, I haven't even seen you like take like a bite of.
You didn't see me kind of sneak off. I've put my microphone on mute as well. So if anyone doesn't know, this is it right here.
Yeah,
it's the good stuff. Nice ginger, a little pepe. I don't want to eat in front of you, but
so let me even ask you, Kyle. So like, what is like your best Nigerian meal? Like, if there was one meal that like you would say, this is it for me, what would it be?
Well, it's a toss up. I mean, I like amala, but pounded yam. So pounded yam, it's probably a pounded yam and a goosey just to be like a hamburger. You know, people say, I want a hamburger. Oh, what do you want? Cheese? You want bacon? I just want a goosey and pounded yam. Any soup with amala, any soup with pounded yam.
Yeah,
If you're not using your fingers, you're not eating.
Then you're not eating. Man, it's like you are even more Nigerian than me. My goodness. Yeah, but I think like pounded yam is like my best with like vegetable soup. Yeah, and 2 pieces of meat.
Yeah.
On the side. So you
2 pieces of meat.
You can't have the soup without the meat on the side.
Well, and that was the funny thing. So whenever we went to someone's house to eat, or we're in a function and we're eating, at the end of it, I mean, in the States, you just eat whenever, so you just chomp it away. But you save the meat for the last bit, right?
Yeah.
So, like, people don't know that. I mean, they come from out of the country, come in. My worst time was when I was in Tiefland doing during the conflict that was going on, we were visiting some internally displaced people. And at the end of it, they brought me pound yam and I think it was a goosey, and then I had chicken. Chicken was on the side plate. And it was a pretty big piece of meat, and I wasn't expecting to get that.
Yeah.
So I finished my yam. I learned by this time, eat the yam and the soup first, and then you can go to the meat. And the guy came up to me and says, are you ready for your meat? And I said, yeah, it's right here. He says, okay, good. And he reaches down and he starts breaking it into little pieces right in front of me. I'm like, I mean,
and everyone's
looking at you. He wasn't going to feed me, but he was making it easy. It was a sign of respect. And I was like, I didn't get that. You're touching my meat.
Yeah, get your hands off my meat. That's mine. Yeah.
Oh, man. So before I forget, this is the website for Shalom, Dreams and Ambition. So dreams and ambition.org. So check it out. He's doing great things with ginger and shea butter and just doing as much as he can to use the natural resources that Nigeria has and the people, as he said, I mean, the people are resources just as much as the crops and everything else. So that's great. Yeah. I think we got someone else in the wings, AJ.
Yeah. So we have someone named Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. Jennifer is a lawyer and fashion entrepreneur, and currently the director of is it Community for a Task?
Yeah.
Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hi, everyone on the line. My name is Jennifer, and I like to describe myself as a nomad. I do so many things. I roll through so many spaces all at once, but they're all connected in an interesting kind of way. Yeah. My training is in law. I grew up in Jos. I live in Jos right now. I went to the University of Jos, but I've roamed around Nigeria quite a bit. So I bring with myself.
You said Joss?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, she doesn't know that, AJ. Yeah.
Yes, J-Town in the building.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, um, I like to think of myself as an all-round creative. I bring that kind of creativity to every space that I engage.
So this is Independence Day, and we're talking about just things about Nigeria. What do you see for the future of Nigeria? Like, so many people have just been feeling like it's like 60 years of going down, or whatever. But like like where do you see the future of Nigeria going? Like, what can you speak to? Is it hope, or is it like, what do you see?
First off, I thoroughly enjoyed being on the call. I've listened to all the perspectives from everybody. Great insight there. I was shouting in my house when Shalom Bako was speaking because he echoes a sentiment. He echoes a sentiment that I think is the way we should be going as a country. What's happened is that I understand, and I have lived in Nigeria all my life. I understand the disappointments. Those of us that have lived some time, we've been around for a little bit of time. We remember a time when it was better.
Yeah.
But even when we remember those times, I'm wondering if it was that we didn't really get a picture of the downslide that we were on.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer for anybody who lives here to be a bit discouraged. And days like Independence Day brings mixed feelings. We're not sure whether we should be happy or sad. There's all that mixed emotion. But I'm an incurable optimist when it comes to Nigeria. And the reason why Shalom really, really struck a chord for me was that he articulated everything I've been trying to say in very simple terms. I think that there is hope for Nigeria, but the hope is not in what we thought it was. And I'll explain. I think that for a long time, we've been in this headspace where we're thinking about, oh, the government's going to save us. Oh, the government just needs to do this. Oh, we just need to get in another government. And we've been in that space for so long that we have forgotten who we used to be. I think that if you read through our history, all the way to pre-colonial times, we were always known as the people who mobilized ourselves in communities, who had structures and systems that worked, who had a plan, like literally a plan, ambition, hope, energy, all of that. And I think that somewhere between getting the kind of national resources that we got and the kind of oil money that's been playing around for the past 30 plus years, we forgot who we were. We're all waiting at some tap with a cup and saying someone else should open the tap. So when I think about Nigeria, I say to myself, if you look around the world, UK, Canada, US, there's a huge population of us young Nigerians, super educated, well-traveled, exposed, access. If you put our network together, if we put the J-Town network together, let me just go there, we're already a force just by ourselves in that small enclave. So I'm saying to myself, this is what Nigeria definitely needs. I do believe in prayer, so I say pray. But I think that what we're losing out on, and which is why we continue to look like we're making no progress, is that those of us who actually have the baton in our hands, who have the capacity, we're waiting for somebody else to do it. So
okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So like, I think like I am really want to see a lot of the diaspora getting more involved. But I also have, like a little thought about like how I think that there is a group of maybe like Nigerians that like probably went and they went to school abroad, right?
Yeah.
They went, they got all of this knowledge in like one generation, and they they were excited about going home, about taking the knowledge that they got back to Nigeria to work. They went back, and at the tail end, the system that that was there crushed them.
Yeah.
So by the time that they had their own kids, and they were maybe privileged to send their kids somewhere else, the young man said, "Look at this is what we did," and just like the instincts of any parent, which
Yeah.
would want to protect the interests of their kids, they would probably say, "Do not make the same mistake that we did, because upon the PhD or whatever it was that we did, this is where we ended up, and we
Yeah.
don't want you to take the same path that we did and make the
Yeah.
mistake." So how can we speak to creating that imbalance where people that actually have ideas, and just like what Enzo was talking about with the kid
Yeah.
that did a ballet, and the other kids that Netflix took up, that they went and they did the video stuff just off of their
Yeah.
phone. These were amazing things that our people, that Nigerians were doing, but Nigeria itself couldn't even turn to even look at what they were doing to them, say, "Hey, this is
Yeah.
something." But it's always other people from outside that they say, "This is a talent and I want to invest in this." So how
I
can we
get your
turn the
point.
tables? Yeah, that
I
that
definitely
way
get your
where
point, and I think you're making it part of my point for me. I was taking a drive just this past weekend, and I said to myself, "Oh, Nigeria is huge," because I wasn't more than 5 kilometers away from where I lived, and I suddenly was in a completely different space that I hadn't visited before. So the problems in Nigeria are a lot. The country is, I think we continue to underestimate how huge, how diverse, how very different we are at. And it is a valid thing for people to say, "Gee, I'm not going to put my kids through this. I'm going to find a place that works and I'm going to park them there." And then hope that that whole generation is able to make something of themselves different from the Nigerian experience. And that's a very legitimate thing. However, when I say that we have the solution, we just have been, I think we've been approaching it from a very wrong perspective. I'll give you an instance. There's so much talent here. There's so much opportunity. There's so much need. There's so many problems. And with problems and needs come opportunities. But what we've been taught is that you need to go to the government to get their approvals and then get their money or their permission to get stuff done. And I would like to propose a different way to approaching the issues. There is something I like to call, in my own head, fly under the radar. It's like there's so many Nigerians, and if you talk to young people across this country, there's so many Nigerians who have built something that only came to be recognized by government and institutions 15, 20 years later. So the true power that we have in ourselves, and the diversity and the largeness and the enormity of Nigeria has its advantages for us. It's that we can create systems, we can build something without being in the radar for quite a lot of time. So what we need to be doing as young people is partnering with each other in the places that we can. We can be building institutions someplace, we can be training people someplace, we can be engaging our communities someplace. And as long as you're under that radar, just making the change that needs to happen, we're going to keep moving, because sticking in one place and complaining, I'm totally done with that. And I do recognize that we have all of these institutional challenges, but if you come to think about it, a lot of Nigerians already run their own lives like they're their own institution, like they're their own government. I'm just saying that if we can put that kind of energy together, all of us, and start to recognize that together our strengths count for something huge, we may start to make the kind of progress that we want. So when I think about Nigeria and the outlook, I say to myself, we, the young people, we just sitting down for too long. We need to find the spaces where we can engage, and engage in those spaces with energy, with zeal, with gusto. And hopefully with that kind of wind, we can start to push against the larger institution, the larger bodies, to make a case and all of that. For instance, at Task this year, we took on earlier in the year the social media bill that made so much noise. That was, it literally was going to fly under the radar. Usually they would have passed it, would have complained about how, oh my God, the government is just so insensitive.
Yeah, that was for Task.
Yeah,
that was for Task. So
yes, that's for Task.
Yeah,
but we were able to mobilize the voices of influential young people, and we pushed that back. And it was a wake-up call for so many people. It was like, oh, we can actually do this without being in the streets getting killed. Yeah. We can deploy all the resources that we know are available, that our education, that our exposure have taught us to latch onto, and then use those and build onto a platform that in the years coming, it's like building a tapestry. Your one corner may look like a small corner, insignificant at the time, but I was listening to the lady just before me, and I'm like, oh my God, that is so much work to be doing. But if there weren't people like her engaging it, we would be on a faster downslide than you can imagine. So it's every young Nigerian everywhere pushing back, making connections, bridging gaps, and literally in a couple of years, we'll be government. That's what I say.
We would really like to thank you so much for your voice. I really wish that we could go on and keep on, talking about the things, because
we'll have about 20 different tracks of programs. This is great.
The thing there is that you want to keep the conversation alive, and I feel that it's through probably avenues like this that we can continue to talk and that is where we get to hear the ideas and the different stuff that everyone else is doing, and then we are saying, I want to be challenged this way too, to start to do the same thing. So yes, great job with Task and what your team is doing. Thank you so much, Jennifer. It's been an honor to have you here.
Kyle, you. Pleasure to meet you, Kyle.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's good to meet you, and we'll meet in person someday, right?
Yep, hopefully.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Wow, that's great. I mean, this is AJ, it's almost 2 hours, and we're sitting here talking to people about incredible things. And we varied it from musicians to advocates to activists to businessmen. So I think the next guest, if he's ready, I'm hoping he is, should probably give us a sort of a culmination of a lot of efforts. I think he's still there.
Yeah, I can still see him here.
Okay, brother Audu, here he is. There he is. Greetings.
Hey,
this
Audu.
Is the man who put music on the map in Nigeria. The CEO of Chocolate City Group. There you go.
That's right. Yeah. Woo, woo.
He's a lawyer, barrister. AJ's trying to be something.
Oh, so. Nice. How you guys
Sorry
doing?
about that.
Yeah, us, man.
Yep, we hear you well.
Okay. Good to see you.
Hey.
How have you been doing?
So, happy Independence, first of all. I mean,
Happy Independence Day. That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's
right. How things going? How's where's everyone?
I'm in Alabama.
Undisclosed relations. Okay.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I'm in Wisconsin. Shh.
Yeah. So everyone is all over the place, and then we have been talking to Nigerians from all over. So it's been pretty great and pretty interesting.
Great. Yeah.
So, give us some of your impressions, thoughts, input. Nigeria at 60. What does that mean?
So first of all, you may notice I'm wearing green, white, green. So I'm very patriotic. I mean, some other funny colors there, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's right.
I just wish my pocket had more green, but it's not there yet.
Hey, that's right.
Just a lot of white stuff, white empty pockets. But seriously speaking, I think it's a time for very sober reflection. I listened to the president's broadcast today, and there wasn't really anything that was uplifting about it. It was just, a rehash of where we are. And we know that we are not in a great space, economically, politically, or socially. But I think what is most regrettable is that every year, ever since I was a kid, it's always been like this. Progressively, it gets worse and worse and worse. And I think it's time for Nigerians to begin to really rethink what is the most important thing for them. I believe that democracy is the biggest agent for massifying change. So if you don't have the right Democrats in power, you will see a lot of failure in the system. And especially in a country where the systems, or should I say the institutions, are quite weak, you can't rely on the benevolence. Benevolence, Jesus Christ. So you can't rely on the benevolence of a leader, right,
Yeah.
as the policy for change. Do you understand? So when you find something like, oh, you're a benevolent leader, no, it can't be that. It has to be a system whereby a person does well because he has to. That's what he's chosen to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we find that it's really at the whims and caprices of a leader. So if he wants to be nice, he's nice. If he doesn't want to be, you can't do anything about it. You have 4 years, and guess what? He's going to win again in 4 years. So, it doesn't matter if you're not happy about it. As long as his people are happy, he's good. So, I mean, that is a short reflection of where we are, which is that we're in a situation where people, the people control the country and not the systems.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a very dangerous,
Yeah, but Aldo, can I ask you, like with what Jennifer was just saying just earlier about how it's like we are in some type of circle where we keep on using the same methods, doing the same thing, and like after 60 years, it means that we have been going nowhere for like the longest time. So how is it that we can actually break out of that norm? Because in a way, it's like we have been programmed to be stuck at that place where there is no development. While other countries are thinking of methods of going to the moon, we are still talking of methods of planting corn.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, so how
that hit me hard, man.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely.
There you go.
I mean, see, like it breaks my heart to know the potential that a lot of Nigerians have. So many great ideas that are out there. So many people, like I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people want to take advantage of every business opportunity that they have. But so many issues behind wanting to get involved with the systems that were created and put in place within Nigeria is just what discourages one, is what, if one would say, I want to venture into social sector, someone would say, man, that man sector, just don't, because it'll either be life threatening or it'll be, it's just something that would just drain you. And then also educating people to know the right kind of things to get involved to for the future, with so many things online. And you hear of like the Wakanda that Akon is making in Senegal. What is his mindset? Can we as Nigerians create some type of futuristic city that would actually feed the needs of Nigeria and will properly work? I don't know what your thoughts are on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's heavy. What you said is really heavy. But let's just say, let's go back to the fundamentals, right? If you look at the US today, the US isn't really faring much better in terms of leadership. I mean, you guys are going through a whole thing. But here's the difference. The difference is that the institutions are strong enough to take the shocks, the political shocks that might come, right? So no matter who wins the election in November, you know that the average person will get his paycheck, will get his entitlements or emoluments, everything that's due to him. The railway will probably still work. Electricity will still function. So I think a double tragedy, right, or double jeopardy, as they say, is that you have no systems, no welfare, and then you don't have good leadership either.
Yeah.
And this starts from the top to the very bottom. Now, one of the mistakes that we've always made, and I think what we need to change, is really change our approach to politics, right? First of all, the smartest thing to do is tell people politics is such a dirty game, so don't get involved, right? That's the smartest thing to do. And that way, people are like, no, don't be a politician. It's nasty, it's dirty, it's all sorts of wicked things. But history has also shown that politicians have done so many great things as well, right? They've done so many great things that they've changed the lot of many people. So we can't pretend that politics is all bad. Besides, If all the good people don't go into politics, then that means that we've let the fate of nations and destiny of generations fall to the hands of the bad people. And bad people produce bad fruit, and bad fruit is not good for you. So the point is, it makes no sense. You have to be involved. Now, the question is, what kind of involvement?
Yeah.
I think that's the crucial thing that we need to change. We believe that the Nigerian dream is to wake up and run for office. So an Aldo wakes up and says, oh, I want to run for office. But Aldo has not served his community. He has never done anything in the grassroots. Do you understand? He's never gone to his village to go and meet the elders, or to plant a tree, or to give, a bag of rice to a hungry family. Not the politician, not the kind of rice that politicians give, by the way. I'm saying genuinely that there are people that are hungry and can't feed themselves, and you go out and do a food drive, that kind of thing, or you're catering to what do you call it, the less privileged. Or you go to a place and bring doctors and to come and do a whole, pro bono type service. How many of us have gone to our communities to give back in any tangible way? Now, let me explain to you what the politicians do. They know that every Christmas they'll gather people, cook rice in the house, and give them small envelopes.
Yeah.
For them, the villagers are happy with that because they're like, oh, he cares for us. He gave us something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when election comes, they are paying back those people. Now, unless we start from the grassroots, imagine that Nigeria had 774 fantastic local government chairmen. Do you think that Nigeria would still be the same position that it is today? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the constitutional makeup of Nigeria, all these states have their own autonomy. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And now the National Assembly has even passed things around local government autonomy. It is for the local governments to bandy together and agree that they're going to enforce those things because the law has already provided for them. So imagine that every local government in Nigeria actually is functioning. Imagine that every local government is doing nice schools, is giving people the proper education. Yeah. Not everybody, obviously they don't have a lot of money, but they can provide some things. Imagine that these local governments are functioning. Do you know that automatically the dependence on the federal local government kind of reduces a bit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
that's the biggest problem because your funding and all your budget is based on the federal government's allocation. So they don't allow you to freely use what you need it for. They tie so many strings, and it's so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
So what I'm saying, Kyle, is I'm saying we can get local government chairmen. We can get the right people in those positions, first of all.
Yeah.
It's not always about the president, right? Because you can build up to places. And that's why you find that there's some states in Nigeria today that are doing well in spite of the problems that they have. There are not many, but when you have a good leader, you will see a change in sort of how things are happening in that state. So I'll say that that's the first thing. The second thing we need to do is, I think, I'm not of the school of thought of whining, right? I've always been someone who does things. When I see there's a problem, the first question that comes to my mind is, can I do something about it myself?
Yeah.
I always ask about myself first before I ask a friend or ask the government or any other person. So the question is there something I can do for it myself? And if there is, then let me try to begin to do it. So I am not one for whining and just talking about Nigeria is so shitty, blah, blah, blah. We hear that all the time. We know that. But what are we going to do about it? Yeah. Or more importantly, what are you going to do about it? So I think that there's small efforts. There's a book I read, The Men Who Built America. It's a bunch of entrepreneurs. Granted, they had the enabling environment to do so. But then the question is that what can we do to create that enabling environment? Yeah. If we can closely police those that we put in the Senate and National Assembly, if we can, that's another if. Maybe we can get people who might pass laws that make sense. If we can get more people in the local government councils who are not out to just steal money and just enrich themselves, maybe we can begin to see a turn. Yeah. But going back to the presidency and going back to the federal part, because the truth also is that the way Nigeria is created, the federal is so powerful. It's so powerful that you can't say there's any meaningful change without fixing that problem. I think that the federal character provision did us a huge disservice. Huge disservice. I shouldn't have a lower cutoff because I'm from the north. What the northern leaders need to do is go educate their people. I was saying this the other day, and I said to them that, look, I want the governor to go out and create the economic realities for his people, right? Stop telling me that, oh, the North is not that educated. Whose fault is that? It's the North's fault. I'm a Northerner, so I can speak very confidently about that. It's a failure of you saying, look, you know what? These guys need to get educated.
Yeah.
So if you're pissed off that the Southwest has more appointments in banks and in the financial services, that's your fault. Build more people. Remember, China was nothing 50 years ago. What are they today? They've built themselves up, right? So I'm not in that school of thought of always making excuses and things like that. But having said that, we still need to go back to the root of the problem. It's poor leadership. It's when you find that you have two candidates running and both of them are terrible candidates, but you've allowed the system to produce those guys. So guess what? You're going to choose the best of two bad choices.
Yeah. But then, can I also ask, like, why is it that so much depends on just the presidency itself? Like, is there stuff that we can do for ourselves as, like, Nigerians too? Because, there are some Nigerians that I have seen over time have been able to craft a way for themselves. Now, I don't know whether it's because of the connections or exposures that they have, where they are actually able to make a living and still live in Nigeria, surviving somehow. But I think that there is, like, the opportunities of like, I would say that I would be a huge advocate of first jobs. Any leader that would come in, like, can you bring jobs into Nigeria just so that the youth that have sacrificed enough to go through school, they have paid school fees, they have done their due, they have their qualifications, will actually get jobs that will allow them to start their own families, have their own kids, build their own house. And there is the American dream, and I say we should also have the Nigerian vision, where every person is should be able to have the basic things for him to sustain a life for himself and his family. So why is it that so much just depends on the presidency itself, and there's so much more that is also beyond the presidency?
Yeah.
Is it that the president has too much power, or is it just is it more to focus on the local elections, or?
I think. I mean, there's so many. I mean, there's so many angles to this question. I might take four live streams like this to answer all these questions that you're asking. But seriously speaking, I think that the first thing we need to understand is that we have a constitution that is flawed, right? It's fundamentally flawed because the constitution was put together by a military dictator. It was not it wasn't the aspirations of Nigerians that brought that document together.
Yeah.
So first of all, you don't have a document that really should, and that's why there was always this conversation around a constitutional conference about us really sitting down and talking about how we want to live together. Yeah. You see, in any partnership, if you don't sit down and renegotiate the terms as things change, you will have problems. Yeah. And that is what we're facing right now. But the other thing is the fact that there's an inherent laziness in leadership in Nigeria that allows these loopholes, gray areas, or lacunas to be exploited by people who, know how to do so. So I'll give you an example. There are 36 states in Nigeria. They're all autonomous. The Constitution provides for things that are on the exclusive legislative list, and there are things that are on the concurrent list. Mm-hmm. If it's exclusive, it means it's only the federal government that can deal with it. And if it's concurrent, then both can. Meaning that what you have to be able to do is carve your own lane.
Yeah.
A governor is the president of a state, right? Mm-hmm. He can do whatever the hell he wants, as long as he's not interfering with federal parts. Now, I watched something quite interesting. I watched a documentary on Robert F. Kennedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not JFK, yeah, Robert Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, and it was around the civil rights movement and when the first black students were registered in an all-white university, right? And literally, he had called the governor of the state, and said, "Look, I want you to allow these guys to be admitted." And they said, "Hell no." So what did he do? He called the attorney general. He was the attorney general, but he sent the attorney general from his office, or some guy from maybe a deputy attorney general, or whatever, to that state. I think it's Mississippi. I'm not sure where it was. And they marched in with those people and said, "Under the federal authority, I tell you to stand down." And the state guy had to stand down because at that point in time, it was a federal issue. I don't think enough governors have tested the federal constitutional issue at all, if at all. But I don't even think it's an issue that the president has traditionally never said, "Hey, Mr. Governor, you must do this and this." No, they don't have the power to do so. But let me tell you where the governors always compromise. Is that every year, every month, there's something called the Federal Something Allocation Meeting, FAAC, right? It's held in Abuja every month. Commissioners of finance around the country come in and sit down, and they're telling them how much they have to share from the kitty this month, right? This is where all the money is shared, and then they go back and be like, "Well, I've got $2 billion, 2 million naira this year, 2 billion naira rather this month. So we'll do this and this and this and this." In my view, the federal allocations should stop.
Yeah.
I think that states need to go back and fix up themselves. You see, if every governor is working to build his own state with all the immense resources that they have, they won't have time doing Aso Rock politics because the president now is more focused. I mean, look at. I mean, our democracy is shaped after what is happening in America, right? Trump does what he does, but the states say what they say.
States' rights.
Right. So the point is that we're not even testing or flexing those muscles because we're content with the fact that every month I get a check.
Yeah.
So that is the fundamental thing that needs to change. The second thing that needs to change also is the way we look at is even a policy direction. Think about Nigeria and think about, let's say, our policy objectives. If you look at our curriculum, our education is skewed towards civil service. We're not building a nation of entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs that emerge are in spite of, not because of, right? So you go to a place like Abakiliki, where they're making some brilliant, I mean, this t-shirt, they'll make in Aba, and you won't know, right? What they need is better equipment. They can make this same quality of t-shirt. They just don't have the equipment. Now, when the government says, "You know what, we're going to create a nation of makers and doers," right? That's our objective. Everything we do is around that. How can I make sure that Nigerians are makers and entrepreneurs and people who solve problems? Because that's what entrepreneurs are. They solve problems. So we want to be a nation that solves the world's problems. The first thing then changes that. What is the educational curriculum? How much do I budget for education, right? Who are the kind of people that I need to ramp this up? And then it changes the whole perception. But when your policy is like, "Oh, well, we're going to be civil servants, get a job, work there do a 9 to 4, and then you can go ahead and do whatever you want to. You have a stable job." Then you've created a nation of people who just want to consume. That is why the eastern part of Nigeria is more entrepreneurial, because the system that they have is an apprenticeship system that brings people in, trains them, and then sets them out to fly on their own.
Where that knowledge is passed.
It's passed on, you mentor them, they move on, and then they can begin to fly. And then they replicate. That's the model. So I feel that is about policy direction. But again, if the states are doing what they should be doing, any state can take this on by themselves. Why are they always waiting for Mr. President? It's not always his fault. So those are my views, though.
No, these are great. I mean, this is another you said pod stream, so maybe do 4. We'll get you for 4 episodes.
Actually, this is like our first take of having conversations like this, and I think that it's so powerful because we're able to get so many different people that have so much, not like you have said a lot that I never even knew. I just look at the problem from the perspective of someone that doesn't know anything and like is wondering, yeah, but this is simple. Like, why can't they, just arrange things, come up with the system and make it work, hold everyone accountable, but it just doesn't happen like that in
Yeah.
Nigeria because of these things. So
Yeah.
thank you so much,
Yeah.
Abu, for
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
giving us the time and allowing us
Making
to
noise.
Yeah.
Not just noise. You're making sense. So we'll keep pulling at your coat strings there, making sure we get your views.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a coat right now. I normally wear a kaftan. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can pull my kaftan strings if it's interesting. But yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Great.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, thank
thanks,
you
brother.
so
Happy
much.
Independence. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it was great
All
having
right.
you. And
Wow.
I think we got our last person here.
Last one. Last but not least.
Finally made it. And this is Abby Bulus. Hey, Abby.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hey Kyle.
How are you?
Howdy.
Doing
Long
pretty
time.
good. Yes,
Great.
it's
You
been forever.
made it.
Yes, I did. I did finally. Thanks for waiting.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
So we are doing
Good,
good.
good.
How have you been? I know that you've had like a busy day.
Yeah, I have had a busy day, but it's been pretty good. I'm working in the U.S. now, but then still
Wow.
part of the Nigerian. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, but
Don't get
the
ages.
Nigerian
Yeah.
Nigerian office is still working. So, or well, they're not working today, but I'm like, wait, should I not work since
Yeah,
I'm
right. See?
Nigerian? Or
Take a day off. You earned it.
yeah. Good to see you guys though.
Hey,
Good. Yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
Tell us about 54 Gene,
Gene?
or
Yeah.
what is
So-
it? Yeah,
Okay,
because this is really
sure.
awesome. I want people to hear about this, so I'll let.
Okay. Cool. So 54 Gene, currently, I mean, I've been there for a little over a year. It's a startup, started out last year. Currently the vice president of human resources. And it's a health tech company advancing the state of healthcare, largely for the benefit of Africans and the global population. So, it's really looking at how we can how we can create better solutions or make accessible solutions that are tailored to the African population. So it's for the benefit of the African population as well as the global population as well.
Okay.
So that's basically it. I mean, my role there right now is really just really guidance and overseeing the HR operations, and then working with the exec team and management just to see what the needs are of the company in terms of the human capital, and then kind of reeling that in through recruitment, and then also just managing other HR functions. And then really just supporting the staff that we have, so that there's training and development happening, and companies moving forward and growing. So
All right.
yeah.
How as you know, like, it's independence for Nigeria, and we have just been talking about like what everyone kind of thought about like what the future looks from now heading on forward for Nigeria, and just what has been like where they kind of see things going, and from the perspective of like the kind of work that you do, there has been some sort of silent slaughter in Nigeria. There's also COVID. There are all of these things that are just adding, to just the hardships that are there. How is it that like you have seen people probably navigating your own organization, navigating through a lot of these issues to continue helping out people and doing the work that y'all are doing?
Yeah, so I will say that Nigeria is it's a rocky terrain. So I said this is, I mean, I think I was out in Nigeria for about 10 years before I kind of decided to shift gears a bit. But while I was there, And I think this has been echoed, through the conversations because I've been listening to those that went before me. But it's a rocky terrain, and I think that we all go in there kind of feeling like once I get there, I'm gonna just change everything. But there's a lot going on, and I think that when you, at least for me in my case, like I got in there and thought I was just going to hit the ground running and get all this stuff done, but then there's so many different factors that are coming into play. And I think that it was when I sort of pulled back and looked around to see what's happening, understand the different factors before sort of thinking of or building a strategy, right? I think that it's very important to align, to collaborate, to partner with people that are doing amazing work. I think it starts with sort of understanding what it is that you want to do. And then, networking, finding out who is already in that space and seeing how you can walk alongside people. Of course, COVID period, it's been crazy, right? There's the lockdown, there's been violence. There's also kind of, looking at the government, because a lot of what's happening even with COVID is dictated by the government. So we're sort of looking and saying, okay, what's the solution? Where's it going to come from, and what are we going to do? But I've also seen a lot of people kind of seizing the day. It's really saying, okay, what can I do? Even though things have slowed down, I think there was sort of a period at which we said, let's just wait. And then when everything opens back up, then we'll continue. But there are also, there are also people that I've seen just kind of like, okay, it might not stop anytime soon. What do we do? Despite what's going on, how do we move forward? And I think so. Yesterday, I attended a conference, and it was hosted by the Winnie Njemide series. It was a sort of a storytelling event, but it's really just looking at governance and politics and how to increase diversity, how to make it more inclusive. What do we need to do? And just hearing from some of the people there, they came and there was a member of parliament from Kenya, head of the Electoral Commission from Ghana, and just a host of people who are saying, what, things are slowing down, or things might be slow, but this is a time for us to educate ourselves, to learn, to strategize, and then start putting things in motion. So definitely, I think that there's things are slowing down, but this is a time for us to actually, identify what it is that we want to do, pick a goal, or pick an area that you want to focus on, and say, what, let's move forward. What do we do? Reach out to other people and sort of band together and look for ways to move forward.
So as you see COVID ravaging the world, and specifically Nigeria, been spared a lot of the deaths and the cases, and I've seen researchers kind of perplexed how have they been able to not struggle as much as the rest of the world. So that's a good thing. But how do you see Nigeria coming out of this? Because people are complaining of poverty, the other crisis of the Boko Haram and the Fulani militants. So how do you see health? Like, so you're in the science and the medical field. Like, how do you see that sort of playing into Nigerians as they come out of this COVID? If it does this year, if not next year. So in your work and in what you're seeing, how does Nigeria come out of this?
So I really see. One of the things I really I've seen is private companies, right? So not just the government, but we see organizations and businesses stepping up to say, what can we do to help? And this is from, if we're talking about the poverty that kind of exists right now, and just the situation of people. I've seen several organizations stand up and say, okay, what can we do to help those to kind of hold over until business resumes as usual. So I see a lot of involvement from private sector. I've seen them helping in terms of like even coming up with new business ideas, so people are getting jobs outside of the ones that they were working before COVID, but new opportunities being created for people to generate wealth, right? For people to stay alive. There is a lot of suffering. It's been really crazy to see what's happening, because there's desperation. There's desperation, but I think that what I see now is people moving forward and saying, okay, so we're in a situation now where it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon, and we're not sure what it's going to look like when it happens. But how do we move forward? And how do we protect ourselves while we're moving forward, just so that life can sort of continue? So in terms of the solution, as everybody has said, I don't think it's coming from the government. So,
that's the theme. It's not government. We celebrate the government, maybe, but
I mean, I think it's really forcing people to think creatively. I mean, fortunately, I have never seen a more entrepreneurial bunch than those I've seen in Nigeria. So it's just seeing people looking for new ways to tap into the market. But then, also not, one of the things that I did see, was people like sort of shifting businesses all the way just to serve COVID because COVID is around. So there's, the opportunist, which, is what it is. But then I've definitely seen a lot of other people, come and say, you know what, this is, yes, there is sort of a recession going on, but what can we build now? What do we need to do in terms of laying,
to make it work?
Laying a foundation, and then, pushing forward when outside opens up.
So the last question that I want to ask you is this.
You didn't get any horns or police sirens, AJ. He's like a little child today. I don't know what's going on.
I didn't say
there
the
you
magic
go.
word.
I guess not. You did.
That's what it is. So the last question that I want to ask you is, like, if you had any word of advice, or if you were to speak to young people, or
speak to your younger self,
Nigerians that are out there that are like, man, I'm just there is just no hope, there is just no way forward, like, we have tried, and this thing just keeps on getting us, and we are just exhausted, like what would you speak to those people, or what would you say to those people to encourage them, or
So I would say stick with it. I think that literally was my experience while I was in Nigeria. I mean, there were so many times that I was like, you know what, I'm going home. I am going home.
Bye,
Why
Felicia.
am I here? Look, so many times. And I think, there was a part of me that wanted to prove to people that moving to Nigeria is not a bad thing. And I was like, I'm gonna wait it out. But it's stick with it. I don't think it's not going to be easy. But I think it's also important that as you're going through that, don't do it in isolation. One of the things, when people ask me, I want to move back to Nigeria, what should I do? What are some of the things that I should have in place? And I'm just like, dude, get your team right, get your squad right. I think when I look back at like just moving there, I mean, I have the group of people that I know sort of were like, you know what, don't leave, keep staying. I mean, Ruby, Toda, the whole team kind of like cheered me on, I feel like, and they really supported me. So I would say, stick with it, but find your team, find the people who can encourage you during troubling times. I mean, getting your spiritual life in check is also a really strong thing. I mean, that helped as well, just to be able to feel like I had a place to go when things were difficult.
That was for what you just said. Yeah. Get it in check.
Get it in check, man. You have to have it. And I would say for those of us that feel like we've balanced it out, or we found our footing, when you get there, open the door. You know what I mean? Open the door a little wider, create access. Networking is such a powerful thing. It's such a powerful thing. I think that we might be hesitant in terms of who do I collaborate with, who do I partner with, but for those who have the opportunity to open the door for others, open the door and don't be shy. If you see an opportunity for someone else coming behind you, tell them, hey, look, here's the opportunity. This is what it looks like. Get your CV together. What is it? But open the door. And I think that you know, I think it was Jennifer that mentioned just sort of like that JOS network, for example. It's it's huge, right? So as people are there, it's like, what is the platform that we can use to sort of invite other people to say, hey, you know, if you're in my JOS network, for example, look, there's this job opening here, or there's this opportunity here. What is your passion? What do you want to do? And that way, I think, you know, just like getting yourself out there means that you become top of mind for someone. And then you're kind of in a situation where you can give people access. So I think, I mean, networking is a huge thing. Collaborations is a huge thing. But yeah, you know, get your squad
That's
together.
been advice by Abby.
Right.
Thank you for, you got your own show there, Abby. You can do it. I mean, that's like those are little nuggets there. Gold.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying like is right, and I think that that's what people need to take home tonight as we round up, that you need to align yourself with people that can help you on that path, because there are people that they kind of and kind of help you, kind of push you off of the path, and and you know, like it's done in a way where it's hard to really see that that's what is happening. But you have to put yourself or surround yourself by people that encourage you, that challenge you, that help you think through situations to be able to make it to where you want to be. So definitely, Abby, thank you so much for joining us today on our first episode of
first episode of what?
Backyard
our annual Independence Day Backyard Boys.
Yeah,
that doesn't sounds like Plantation Boys, like the band.
Yeah, but it was really good to see you and hear from you. Please continue to do what you are doing. Let us know about how we can engage and we can also get involved, and please continue to follow Icon at www.iconhelp.org. Check us out, learn more about the silent slaughter in Nigeria and what is happening there and how you can get involved. Please, those of us in diaspora, those of us in Nigeria that have voices, let us speak up for those within the rural communities that are being affected by these silent killings. Please, we need to speak up more. We need to get more involved. All right, Kyle. Do you have anything
let's say. Well, Abby's still in the room. Is she gonna be able to say goodbye, and then we can close out?
Oh yeah.
So you could say one farewell, Abby.
So you can round up.
Thank you so much. I mean, I spoke to AJ yesterday and heard a little bit about what Icon is doing, and I'm always a fan of projects that give us sort of an avenue to help. So definitely keep me in the loop, just in terms of what you guys need, in terms of support. You know, what do we need to do? let us know. But yeah, you guys are doing amazing stuff, and thanks so much for having me.
All right, Abby.
Thanks again.
Take care. You have a great rest of your day.
All right, I will.
All right.
All right, AJ.
Kyle, so man,
this
we did it.
2 hours.
Episode 1. Yeah, that's like 2 hours 30.
AJ, we didn't even do it. I thought we had to fill up this time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We didn't even get a chance to have people get a hat.
Man.
We're gonna give away hats, shirts.
The giveaway.
Well, we could do it like this. We'll this is going to be on. There you go. We'll be on. This will be streaming for a couple of days, whatever. So it's live now, but it'll be recorded and you can rebroadcast it. So anyone who reposts, retweets, shares this with the hashtag Silent Slaughter and or hear their voices. Is that fair enough?
Yeah. Here you go.
And we'll put you in a random.
There you go. On the bottom there.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, so
anyone
you need to share it with the hashtag Hear Their Voices or hashtag 101AP, hashtag Silent Slaughter. And we will randomly choose one person to get
a hat
and one person to get a shirt.
And we'll send it to you.
Yeah, we have been trying to give away this stuff. We want you to get a Stand With Nigeria hat and a Stand With Nigeria shirt, please.
I'm sure if someone maybe donated $100 or something, we may give them a hat.
Yeah.
bribe the coffers. But no, we appreciate anyone who who does that. You know, it's not just that we're trying to do this for some sort of gimmick. We just appreciate it. It gets the word out there. You know, I think this is huge that we able to pull this off. 2.5 hours, crazy.
Yeah.
I want my coolie.
Yeah. Yeah, but thank you for tuning in. The conversation has been great and really just so amazing hearing from everyone. So many people doing different wonderful things, and I think that's where it's all
Yep.
at.
Nice. I think we'll just play the video. I'll just play this video. This is an update from Dr. Obadiah Melafia, who was trying to be with us live today, but he was able to share an interview yesterday, just in case he couldn't. So we'll just play this out, and then we're done, right, AJ?
That's right. Thank you
So
for
let
tuning
the video.
in.
Yep. Thanks everyone
when is the next episode?
Next year, October 1st, 2021. Let's not push this one. I'm not up for doing another 2.5 hours anytime soon. But. All right, man. So here's the video. So everyone, thanks for joining us, and watch. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hello, and greetings to all of you, my listeners. Today is Nigeria's Independence Day, Thursday, the 1st of October. Nigeria is Africa's largest country by size, over 200 million people. We got our independence from the British 60 years ago on the 1st of October of 1960. There have been turbulent years. There have been years of triumph as well as tragedy. There have been years of hope and years of despair. We fought a brutal civil war in which 3 million lives, according to some estimates, were lost in that terrible and tragic civil war. It is said that no country survives 2 civil wars. And since the return to democracy in the year 1999, there has been a series of bloodletting on a terrible scale. The figures range from anything from 30,000 to 60,000 of souls that have perished in killings due to the Boko Haram insurgency, which started like a bunch of local thugs that has now become a global jihadi organization. After the defeat of global jihad in Afghanistan and their thrashing in Syria and Iraq, they've turned their attention to West Africa and the Sahel. We have this feeling that their ambition is to make Nigeria their headquarters and to make the country into an Islamic state. Thousands have been slaughtered, maimed, raped, innocent children, babies, expectant mothers, the elderly, the infirm, the youths. They've killed and raped and maimed without discrimination and without pity or compassion. This tragedy has divided the country. It has set communities against communities. It has set religion against religion. It has set tribe against tribe. It has set the North against the South. It has eroded the last reservoir of social capital that glues communities together. And if nothing is done, Nigeria may be heading for a very massive tragedy. Some of us have warned about this. And unfortunately, we have been seen as troublemakers, not as patriots who want to seek a common ground that restores hope and peace in our country. Today, as we turn 60 as a country, there's sadly not much to celebrate. Nigeria overtook India in 2017 as the world's capital of poverty. That's a rather dubious prize, if you asked me. India today has just about 70 million of internationally defined poor. That is people without access to at least $1.50 per day. And if you compare